In May of 2022, the New York State court system appointed an independent guardian to manage Wendy's finances. Wendy was illegally removed from the care of Kevin and the family.
Do you think your mother should have a guardian?
I think that my mother should have family. The family side of the story hasn't been told, so it's kind of left this gray space of who's really telling the truth of what's really going on. I've always wanted the best for my mom, I just stay strong, I just understand, nobody's perfect. No matter how many times somebody may fall down, you gotta lift them back up. But I feel like with the situation,
that was an excerpt from the Lifetime docu-series, Wendy Williams, I Want to Be Famous, which has created quite a few controversy and backlash about exploitation, but it also begs the question: when did financial institutions such as Wells Fargo become human and social services workers or agencies? While we may chide Lifetime, I believe that this was a good opportunity for the family to tell their story, and it also highlights and reveals something quite serious and very important. It asks the question: when did financial institutions such as Wells Fargo become human and social service workers, or human and social services workers or agencies? I'm Ronaldo McKenzie, and welcome to another episode of the Nearly Go Around podcast. In light of the Wendy Williams docu-series,
give me a few weeks, and thank you for your concern.
Now, would you ever have a replacement house for the show?
How dare you?
one must ask a serious question about the professionalism of banks making CYS, Child, Youth and Family Services, recommendations involving human and social welfare to the courts about care and guardianship of individuals when such and their affairs, when such recommendations need specialists trained or specialists who are trained and licensed to make that recommendation and decision. It should be human and social welfare workers making such recommendations to the courts. And this is one perspective that we are adding to the news, because I don't believe that that is part of the conversation. Furthermore, the care should include and involve families. Care should include and involve families. That has always been the modus operandi of human and social services for decades. So what has changed and what is going on? Now, recently it was revealed, and we showed an excerpt of the Wendy Williams, the Lifetime documentary about Wendy Williams. Recently, it was revealed that Wendy Williams' bank accounts, and that's the slant we are taking. I'm not going to talk about her illness, but I'm going to talk about what transpired from that, so as to reveal issues about professionalism within the judiciary and within financial institutions, and something that the HHS office and to an extent President Biden may have to address as from a federal level. But recently it was revealed that Wendy Williams' bank accounts were frozen, and she was appointed by an independent guardian she was appointed an independent guardian. She was appointed an independent guardian by the courts to provide care and administer Wendy's affairs and life. Let me read it again. Recently, it was revealed that Wendy Williams' bank accounts were frozen, and she was appointed an independent guardian to provide care and to administer her affairs while her family was shut out, only to watch on the sidelines. Orchestrated by Wells Fargo Bank, acting as CYS or HHS, Human Health and Social Health and Human Services Social Work Professionals, making recommendations to the court of this country, who acted on that said recommendation without appropriating family statutes, laws, and care that was best practice. That's a mouthful, I know. We're going to get into it. Child, youth, and family services are geared towards keeping families together in a safe environment with minimal safety risks and hazards, especially when this involves children. And so they will employ programs that empower them to be able to provide the care that is needed and to support them in mitigating some of the risks. Programs such as FGDM, Family Group Decision Making, and BPM, blended preparation planning, are utilized today by social services agencies, especially the one in Philadelphia, and I've had an opportunity to work with one and to provide FGDM services, are utilized today to identify programs such as FGDM are utilized today to identify next of kin or family and community.
Support your son right now because you got him an apartment right in Miami.
First of all, asking do I support is the wrong word.
Okay, tell me.
Who the are you?
Exactly. But you want him to have
Go out, please.
Okay.
Because I'm done with you. Okay. My son, financially and also health-wise, is the best.
I didn't mean to upset
Leave
you.
me. Go ahead.
In place of state and punitive services to treat and keep the families together. Again, let me say that again. Programs such as FGDM and blended perspective and preparation planning meetings are utilized today to identify next of kin or family and community in place of state and punitive services to treat and keep the family together. Now, Wells Fargo's decision to get the courts to strip the family from providing care and guardianship of Wendy Williams' family at a time when she needs family is a draconian solution that has only exacerbated Wendy's problems. Let me say it again. Wells Fargo's decision to get the courts to strip the family from providing care and guardianship of Wendy's family at a time when she needs something sound cumbersome right here. I'm going to read it again. Wells Fargo's decision to get the courts to strip the family from providing care and guardianship to Wendy at a time when she needs family is draconian, or is a draconian solution. It's a draconian solution that has only exacerbated Wendy's problems. There is child care. There is child care, but also adolescent care and adult care, whereby agencies respond to the children's and entire family's needs to help the adult become an able member of the community to serve themselves. Community and family. There are systems in place, but it seems as if, in Wendy's case, the established system was not used. Furthermore, it shows how the system and the private sector, or government and the private sectors work together or work against already established best practices in human and social services in caring for the family. Banks and financial sectors should never make decisions about family care or social services or human services. The banks should have alerted the relevant care providers or make a recommendation. If anything, the courts should have thrown out the case as the banks lack precedence and jurisdiction to make such a determination given their lack of training in this regard. Further, the courts should have never sided with the banks to block the family from planning and providing care for Wendy. What century are we living in? This suggests collusion and corruption and is a step back. Moreover, The HHS, Health and Human Services, has been promoting family care in their assisted living programs and services. So the fact that the family is now involved so the fact that the family is now involved in care to not disrupt the family connection is pivotal to adult and CYS care and empowerment of individuals in community, which is now part of assisted living and nursing homes are adopting. The family becomes a very important role in society today in terms of alleviating and providing care to some of the stresses that come with the disrupting the family circle and the connection that exists within the community. So of course, HHS and assisted living has now a new philosophy of providing care, which was never utilized in Wendy's case. The docu-series, although hard to watch and said to be exploiting Wendy, was necessary as it revealed the truth about how the courts and banks work to shut out families from their family members' care against what CYS and HHS professionals promote. So I hope that this will provide openness to discussing care and how banks must never get involved in such decisions or making that kind of recommendations. It is usually reserved for health and human services workers, health and human social services workers. It also puts Wells Fargo in a negative spotlight, and the courts, but it puts Wells Fargo at first in a negative spotlight in the sense as disloyal to customers and their families and overreaching and overstepping. The courts also work. The courts work to provide. The court's role in this regard must be to provide just and fair decisions. And so their collusion or their decision to side with the banks and make such a decision must be questioned and explored. In fact, the families should have appealed this. We'll continue to follow this story. This is the Neoliberal Round podcast, brought to you by the Neoliberal Corporation. We're all about serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly. We always provide another perspective to the news that has not been considered, which speaks to life and society. Please continue to support us by subscribing for free on any stream and donate to the podcast by going to anchor.fm/theneoliberal/support. This particular story is available in theneoliberal.com and renologymckenzie.com.